Why did I bring this mug? This mug is from Branson, Missouri. I was there November time last year shooting a movie. So I collect mugs, which is really, really sad.
It was kind of perfect for Tea with Emma.
I
You're
know,
a mug
it's
collector.
like, it is perfect. I'm a mug collector. So everywhere I go, I now pick up a mug. So it's like a souvenir, it's like my thing. What got me into modelling was I was working in a hairdresser's when I was 16. And a friend of mine there actually was like, you should do some modelling. And I was kind of like, you're so skinny. She had a friend who was a model. And was like, I'll set you up with a photographer. A friend saw a competition in The Sun that was running for a Page 3 Idol. He was like, why don't you enter? You should do it. And I was like, oh, I don't know about this. In the end, I just thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Submitted these pictures. They arrived at The Sun on the last day, and I ended up winning their competition. Became Page 3 Idol. I mean, I think once I'd started, it was kind of like a snowball, and I just ended up in it. And also I was earning very good money, so it was like just pointless to put it aside and move away when I was in demand and booking jobs. You know, it's easier to regret things than it is to actually own up to what you've done, and I am very hard on myself, so I a lot of the time look back and do question why I've done something. But I then like to think, you know, that moment in time was something I wanted to do. So, and I've learned valuable lessons from that. Some of them I've learned very, very hard, but lessons nevertheless. And yeah, so I try not to regret, because I think I wouldn't be this person who I am now. Do I feel like I was exploited? I know what it was. I don't really feel like there was anybody that guided me. So there was no guidance from anyone. I sort of got chucked in, as no one was like, you shouldn't do that. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, don't do it. It was just assumed that you would do it because you'd entered into that industry. I gave it up because I think I'd achieved everything I possibly could within that career. That was part of my life. I've moved on, and, you know, hopefully other people can move on too. I mean, it's old. I've always wanted to act since I was young. It's funny, when I was back in London last, I went to a family party and there was a family friend there who was like, oh, I'm so glad that you've moved to LA and you're doing this. I remember when you were a kid and you would do these shows, and you pulled me aside and you were like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. I mean, I do think it's a hard thing to deal with, other people's perception of how you are, just because the media portrays people in such a way, and especially me, for instance, I'm portrayed in a way that, I mean, isn't necessarily who I am. And how I like to think of that side of things was, it's kind of like a character. I was like playing this part. I think I'm fully aware of what people think, and they probably don't take me seriously as an actress. And I'm not ignorant. Like, when I made the decision to move out here and follow that as a career, I was very aware, like, okay, people are going to think you're stupid, and like, why is she trying to be an actress? Like, go and get your tits out, do what you're good at. And, you know, I kind of just take it as it is and take it in my stride and be like, okay, people are going to think that. No one did anything great without, you know, facing those fears and those people and just going, fuck it, you know, gonna do it anyway. And then I think the decision to come to LA was, I was in London and I wanted to study acting, and I didn't really want to study there, even though we have fantastic schools, just because I'd left school at 16, I had no qualifications, and to go to something like RADA was just impossible. So I looked into a lot of different acting schools and realised I wanted to study the method, Lee Strasberg. It was between New York and LA, and I know that I'd always wanted to live here, so I was like, then it just works out perfectly. I can live in LA and I'll study there too. Yeah, I'm now here full time. I've been here for 3 years. Since then, got an agent, had to prove myself. I've now been out auditioning, booking work, working as an actor. But I shot 4 feature films in the last year, which is insane. There's a movie, St George's Day, which will come out in England in September, which is very exciting. I play the Peckham Princess. One of my favourite parts I've played, I have to say. Dream role to play, I'm going to say Glenn Close's character in Fatal Attraction. Yeah, my style is very, I always describe it as masculine, and it's quite eclectic. And it's quite different from, I think, what people assume how I dress. My sister does tell me that I dress like a grandma. But yeah, then I started Keeley's Corner, which is kind of like an online diary, www.keeleyscorner.com. Exciting times. I had lots of fun with tea with Emma. I'd like it if there was actually tea, though. You should provide tea, Emma, with Tea with Emma.
I left the choice up to the drink of choice.
Yeah, bring your own tea.